All right, we're going to get started. I'm going to ask everybody to go find a seat. No, not there. For those that may not know, we have pictures up here of the seniors and our exchange students and of Pedro's, because since they will be playing next year, Coach Reichl did an amazing job. About half these pictures are ones you just seen in the newspaper. So they're up here, and the kids can sign them so that all of them will have something to take home tonight. We're going to get started with our JV girls. Before I do, I just want to say a few things about our coaches. I first recognize he doesn't like any attention, but Doug House. Doug was our goalkeeper coach. He also knows the most of any of us involved with this thing. And usually I go to Doug and I go, "We're not doing this right. Got any ideas?" And then he's got a drill for me for us to figure it out. So thank Doug for all his work this year. He's done an awesome job, and he worked with everybody. And then just to call them out real quick, well, I'll talk about each one of them as we get to their teams. Our JV girls, this year I think we won 2 games. And, of course, the first one in school history, since we had not had a team before. Coach Haley, we talked on the phone last July, and she really was the answer to prayer because we needed another teacher that cared about soccer so that, I could be sick and us still have practice. And she has just been an amazing, amazing teacher on the soccer field and cares about these girls deeply. And I could not be happier with the progress that the JV girls made this year. And some of them are ready to make a lot bigger progress going forward. So without further ado, I'll bring up Coach Haley to present the participation awards for our JV girls.
I am also not as tall as Coach Laney, so I'm going to bring this down. I want to first of all, I guess, formally introduce myself. I don't think I know a lot of people here. My name's Allison Haley. Along with being the JV girls soccer coach in their first year, I am also the band director and music teacher at Collins. And this is my family and my first year living in Scottsboro. And I want to thank you as a community, thank our administrators, thank Coach Laney and the rest of the coaching staff for making this just a fantastic move and a fantastic year. Scottsboro is a wonderful place to live and raise a family, and I attribute that to the people I am looking at right here. You've raised wonderful children that are great students to teach, girls to coach, and guys to coach, and they're role models for my personal children that are still pretty young. So I want to thank you very much for that. Yes, first season for JV girls soccer was very exciting. I'm not going to go on too long about it, but it was just really fun to get a group of girls, and it was all ranges. I have never played soccer before, but my friend told me to join. A lot of it was I played when I was younger, and then I stopped because my friend stopped playing, or I just played with boys on RecCom, and I got kind of lost in the shuffle. And then we had girls that have been true competitors the whole, time through from growing up. So it was fun to see all of those different talents come together and then just see us grow from literally the first practice saying, here's the soccer ball, you hit it with your foot, not your toe, you use this part of your foot, and this is how you it was really, how many of y'all know how to dribble a ball? How many of us know how to throw a ball in? To, by that last season, that last tournament, maybe we didn't win those games, but we were playing teams that the varsity girls played last year. We were going over formations. We were going over movement and space, just thinking about soccer as a game and not just, kind of like the T-ball form of soccer. That's where we had to start. And I just can't say enough about these girls' hard work and teamwork and just their potential and their growth. So I want to thank you very much. I'm going to introduce each player. So if you could please come on up. I have a certificate for you, and then just a small token of my gratitude for all of you girls. We are going to begin with our junior high girls. So if you are a 7th or 8th grader, just kind of be prepared for your name to get called. If you want to kind of stand up and get ready over there. I did a banquet with the band about 3-4 weeks ago, and that helps things a lot with a group this big. So if Kimberly Diaz is here, if she could come on up, please. Is she here? Okay. Jasmine Hill, is she here? Wonderful. Come on up. McKenna House. Is she here? Yes. Araceli Mendoza. I want to give them. Can I take this off? Okay, I'm going to move with this because I want to give them a hug because they have earned it. Did I get all my 7th graders? Araceli, Mika Pasquales, is she here? Yes, come on up, Mika. Maddie West. Yep, they're my 7th graders. Yeah, if you want to give them a certificate. Yeah. Oh, congratulations. Yes, you do need your hug. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. I have here. Mika. Congratulations. I spelled your name wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm fixing that. Congratulations. All right, we are going to move on to our 8th graders. No, stand up. We'll recognize the whole team. You stand there. All right. We have Tiana Adams. Our 8th grader, but also our voted on season team captain, Miss Lily Flanagan. Estella Miguel. Zoe Parrish. Christy Villatoro. Hannelyn Villatoro. Lydia West. We are going to move on to our high school JV players. Freshman Sarah Laney. And our sophomores, Alandry Gamble. Sophomore Cheyenne Harden. Perfect. Is she here? Okay. Sophomore Daniela Ola. Sophomore and also co-captain of the JV soccer team, Miss Annabelle Parrish. I'm on my tiptoes to do that. Okay. And then finally, sophomore Allie Wilkes. Pardon? She can do it. Let her do it. She can be tall. Superpower. All right, and like I said, girls, just so incredibly proud of you. We have bonded together as a team in soccer, but also it was just so wonderful to get to know you guys all a lot better. Like I said, we're ranging from 13 to 16 here, and that's a lot. Okay, maybe 12. Are there some of y'all 12? No? Okay, we're 13. Okay, 13 to 16 here. So, and that's a huge growth. And it was so wonderful to see the high school girls bond with the junior high girls and vice versa. They had soccer during the school day, and we stayed later for practices, and just making those dynamics work. It takes an effort, and y'all put it in. And I could not have asked for a better first season. And I am just so incredibly proud of you. Let's give them as a team one more round of applause, please. Okay. So if JV girls can have a seat now, please. Like I said, congratulations. So proud of you. I am going to welcome JV boys coach, Mr. Josh McWilliams, up to the podium.
My name is Josh McWilliams. I'm a banker who doesn't know a lot about soccer, but love each one of these boys. They probably on average as a team we give up about 60 pounds a player every time we stepped on the field, but they never quit fighting, never gave up. We got mercy ruled only 3 times, I think, so we made some progress. And we pushed Albertville to like 10, 15 minutes left, Crossfield to under 2 minutes. So that, you know, I said this on Remind, but my proudest moment probably for this team was 2 3-1 losses that we had in the same week against Madison Academy and Gunnersville. You know, I've never been prouder of 2 losses just because of the progress that the boys made from the start of the season to where we were at. So I know they put up with a lot with me. I know I demand a lot, and so I appreciate each one of them. So if they can, Brody Chambers, if you can come on up. Jacob Shantavong. Jacob's the reason I wear this boot. I've been telling people it was Hal just so I wasn't telling people a 7th grader hurt me, but Matthew Dupree. Johnny Felix. Renee Miguel. Troy Reichel. Hamilton Richardson. Juan Tomas. Eli Whitmire. Evan Allred. Kobe Durham. Saw him here. Corbin Gray. Evan Hill. Wilson Hill. Skylar Miller. Jackson Moore. Luke Potter. Braden Thompson. Chris Webster. Alberto Manuel. Michael Marlowe. Zach Webb. Logan Durham. Edgar Martinez. As you can see, we kept a lot of guys. It was by design. It was a design that Coach Laney and I questioned several times, but they all pushed, they all fought hard, they all got better. And I failed to mention we did win our first game. So as a program, we're maybe 1-18, but I plan on cutting into that next season if these guys will put in the work. So thank you all.
Before we roll into the varsity, didn't get to say anything about Coach McWilliams. Just want to say that in this 2 years, he's the one that's gotten the most text messages from me saying, I don't know why they've hired me to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. How are we going to fix this? And then this year, you had to send me some of those that I responded to. So I can't thank Josh enough for the man that he is, for the example he sets for our young people, and for what he's meant to me, just personally, to remind me every now and then that our values are higher than always just worrying about the scoreboard. So we both have been good at doing that for each other, and it's been a great time. And you boys that are sitting down right now, especially you 7th and 8th graders, you know what the road is ahead for you. You know what it is to work. And our varsity this year put us on the map. If you do the right things, you might win a map one day. So keep that in mind as we move forward. All right. I'm now going to turn this over to Coach Reichel to introduce our varsity girls. Coach Reichel, I actually coached basketball against Coach Reichel a couple years ago, and I didn't know her name, but they asked when I had to find coaches. They said, well, maybe Coach Reichel would want to help you. I said, I don't know who she is. They said, well, she's really nice. She's always willing to do whatever people need her to do. They said she's got redheaded. She's kind of tall. And I said, oh, if it's who I think it is, she's the only coach I didn't want to kill when I coached against them. So that'll work. And that's how we got started. One of my greatest weaknesses, which my wife can verify, is I am the world's worst photographer, and I don't remember to take pictures. And you could not have a better person, if that is your weakness, to be around than Coach Reichel. So I appreciate her for the wonderful person that she is, and I now let her present the girls.
Like you said, I'm Jennifer Reichel. I'm assistant for the varsity girls to Coach Laney, and I have really enjoyed this season. I'm grateful to be associated with coaches who care not only how well your child plays soccer, but who they are and what kind of person they are becoming. All of these coaches invest time into their game, but also into the kind of person they're going to be. So I'm grateful to be associated with those kind of coaches. I had a great year this year watching the girls play. They came together as a team and was a joy to watch them form friendships and improve their soccer game to the point where they made the playoffs for the first time and the first year of their eligibility. So with that, I'll introduce the girls. Nevada champion. Micah Briette. Rosara Diego. Brianna Hardin. Gracie Holt. Jimena Tomas. Lauren Clark. Lydia Cook. Mary Cook. Blanca Diego. Marie Goldner. Shelton McCormick, otherwise known as the Legend. Hattie Richardson. Haley Allen. Hannah Allen. Bethany Fine. Kinsey Gorman. Peyton Kingsbury. Itzel Ramos. Kyla Reichel. And that's our varsity girls. Okay, you can be seated. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Well, Coach Allen's going to announce it, but why don't you hand them out because I'd like to see it. Okay. All right. For the varsity boys, this is really special because most of our seniors this year were coached by Coach Allen when they were much younger. So Coach Allen's been a vital assistant to me because he knew most of you long before I did. And he was the first person that I had helping me in this little journey. So I'm grateful for Mike. He produced not only two wonderful daughters that I absolutely adore and will miss, but he is also a very good soccer coach and taught a lot of our guys a lot before I ever got here. And so we're forever grateful for that. He also takes care of all our camera work, which he's even doing right now as we're doing this. All these wonderful videos you see are because of his work. So I could not be more grateful for that. So with that, I'm going to ask Coach Allen to come up and call out the boys.
Thank you. All righty. It's been a really great year for the boys. Really, the reason I'm emotional is because this will be my last year coaching for the boys. Anyway, I'll just call out their names. John Will. He's on the trip. Okay. Noah. Yeah. I messed it up. All right. Aiden Cantrell. Alex Josie. Or the Juice. Or the Juice. Juice. Marcus. Skip that. Julio. Is he here? Not here? Okay. Will Bradford. Roberto. I've seen him over there. Yeah. Robbie. Woo. Got him a new do. Israel. Easy. Easy. One of the young men I've really come to know very well, Hal Eden. Amazing goalie. Elias. There you go. Zach. Oh, okay. Miguel. Pedros. Andre. Timo. In my previous years of coaching, we've had foreign exchange students, but this has probably been one of the best young men that I've had the chance to know. All right, George Bravo. Adrian. Or Smiley. Kaylin Gonzalez. Wyatt Hancock. Adam Hood. Tony Pereira. Ray Walden.
Your 2019 Scottsboro Soccer Varsity Boys playoff team. All right, y'all can go sit down now. So, I'm not a huge fan of awards because sometimes it takes away from what we're trying to accomplish as a team, but we try to structure our awards around what our values are in our program. So now we're going to present awards, and I'll bring Coach Haley back up to present the 3 awards for the JV girls team.
I want to begin with the awards by saying Coach McWilliams and I talked about this before the banquet. It was near impossible to just pick one girl for each of the awards. We had 3 or 4 kind of lined up, and we thought about the entire season and the potential of the player and just trying to get these girls to shine and give them their moment. So the first award we are going to recognize is Best Competitor. So in my eyes, this is someone who really, anything they could do to get in that game. This young lady was constantly wanting to learn, trying new positions, and she just started off this first game. I mean, she was just fearless, and she continued to be like that. She fought hard through injury, and I couldn't be more proud of her progress and the spirit she showed to the soccer program. And the Best Competitor Award for the JV girls goes to Miss Tiana Adams. The next award I am going to distribute is the Practice Award. I think it is such a great idea to give this award, so thank you, Coach Laney, for coming up with it. This is a young lady that, again, fearless, but in a different way. We knew from the first practice that soccer was something she had not visited in a while. I knew she had done a lot of other sports. She had some great endurance, multifaceted athlete, but we really had to work on our feet. She was a student that and a player that played with varsity during fifth period and then stayed after for soccer. And I mean, just went through the trenches learning, was doing more than one sport during this time. And I just can't believe the hard work that she put in and how well that paid off in the end of the season. So the practice award for our JV girls team is going to go to Miss Sarah Laney. Oh, did Mom get a picture? Did you get a picture? Okay. I'm a mama. It's all about the pictures. It is all about the pictures. Okay. What? Do you, did you get a picture? Okay. Okay. And then finally, the coach's whistle. And this was really hard because these girls just all have a special place in my heart as the first team I have coached here. Before I moved here, I coached a more seasoned team up in Chattanooga, and it was fun, but it just does not have the reward that, I mean, just kind of the hard work and the immediate kind of reaction we see to playing that these girls got. And this girl in particular, first game, we almost didn't get through with it in Albertville. We could barely finish. And then by the end, she wasn't playing that last game where we wanted her to be, but goodness, she helped coach. She just was so hungry to learn, always working to try, and I just cannot wait to see what the future for Lydia West has in store as a goalie. This year's coach's whistle goes to our keeper, Miss Lydia West. So proud of you. These girls are so tough, so proud of them.
All right, so for JV boys, we do the same 3 awards. And like Coach Haley said, I told Coach Laney, I think maybe 3 or 4 times that I would have it to him that day, and it rolled into the next week and the next day. So best competitor, Coach Laney defined as somebody who will do anything it takes to get on the field. And from JV boys year 1, this kid didn't even have a seat on the bench, to JV boys year 2, there wasn't a practice that we had that at some point in that practice I didn't say, holy cow, where'd this dude come from? Braden Thompson. All right, the practice award is given to, I think the players will tell you practice is huge to me, especially when you have 25 little bitty kids. They got to stand out at practice, or, I mean, it's just hard to get attention. But, man, practice is where you win games. Practice is where you win tournaments and win trophies. So this kid, I've got several, as I said, that could fall into this category. I had 4 or 5 boys that anything we were doing at practice, they were giving 110%. They were attentive, and they were doing what they were supposed to do. But the difference that set this kid apart is he did it all summer before this season, and about every time I've been by the fields this year in the summer, he's been there already. Juan Tomas. And the coach's whistle, Coach Laney defined this to me as somebody who is always doing the right thing, always doing what they're supposed to be doing. This young man, I would get to the fields. Like I said, for me to be able to be a part of practice, and I'm fortunate to be so, I'm not saying it that way, but I would work through lunch a lot of times to get to leave and be up there and scramble to get there by the time they're warmed up. And this young man would have cones set up. He would have the field set up. and he was staying over after working fifth block. And really last season, too, I can't think of a time he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. So, Zach Webb.
So with the varsity, we have the same 3 awards from the coaches, but we also let the players vote on 3 awards. And usually I let the captains present that, but since some of the captains are getting those awards, it's a little bit awkward. So before I do that, I do want to present that with the varsity girls, we had 3 captains this year. It was 2, but one of them got called up from JV because the other one got hurt. So I want to acknowledge Kenzie Gorman, our senior captain. She'll stand up, please. And Mary Cook, and Gracie Holt. And I'll let y'all sit down. I'm going to go and do the boys before I forget. Our 2 boys captains were Kaylin Gonzalez and Hal Layton. Y'all stand up. All right, so I'll start with the girls and the awards from the players. Like I said, the players voted on these, and I loved the decisions that they made. Our first award goes to is for a most improved player on the girls' team, and it goes to a senior who we really, really wish had played as a junior. She happened to also score the game-winning goal that put us into the playoffs, and that is Kyla Reichel. Our next one shows for best teammate. And the great thing about this is it's really impressive to be best teammate when you're new to the team and even new to our school. But this girl did everything you could ask for as a fellow teammate or as a coach. And that award goes to Lauren Clark. Good job. And the last one, absolutely in an appropriate way, was for most valuable player, and it came down to a tie with 9 votes each. So I decided I just have to give 2 awards, and I don't think anyone in here has any doubt in who that might be. It's Hannah and Haley Allen.
Expecting that. Thank you.
And some people even put the number 8 twin and the number 9 twin as their vote for their jersey numbers. So that was funny. So now we get to the decisions the coaches made on awards. Same thing. This first one is the practice award. And this young lady, I am just so happy with the way her season went because she battled and wasn't getting the results she wanted, and she just never stopped working at practice. And then she had a couple of games down the stretch that she was the difference in winning a couple of area games and while we made the playoffs. And so this award goes to Lydia Cook. Good job, girl. Now I have about 3 girls. This next one's for the best competitor. And I have about 3 girls that I'm afraid to pull out of the game because I'm afraid they'll injure me when I do. So a few of them could do it, but really this came down to the one that I was most afraid to pull out of the game or get injured. Also, there was a girl from Lincoln High School this year that scored 38 goals on the season and had 21 at the time we had played her. And halfway through the second half when we played her, she virtually quit the game and didn't want to play anymore because she was tired of this young lady. And this best competitor on our team this year goes to Hattie Richardson. I was also afraid if I didn't give you an award, you might hurt me. I'm just kidding. Good job, girl. Proud of you. And our last award, and the one that's always most important to me, is the coach's whistle. For me, this is someone who's an extension of me when I'm not around, someone who does the right things, and someone that just is, you know, someone that you want to be your coach. We are so blessed in this program to have many people like this, but this young lady this year really stepped up in a way that I could not be prouder of, and so the coach's whistle this year goes. I got through Sarah getting that award, but this got to me. This goes to Mary Cook. I'm so proud of you, kid.
Oh, this is shiny.
Dang it, I hadn't even got to the seniors yet. All right, we switch over. Yeah, you cry. You're not supposed to cry. You're supposed to be the tough guy. And now we get to the boys' awards. The first three are players' awards like before. I couldn't be prouder of this guy, and I'm so glad that people voted for him. He played some huge minutes for us at left mid. For those that may not know, our boys went through a 2-week stretch where we were literally turning to the bench and saying, have you played this position? Because we had so many injuries. Part of that's the way the schedule fell and the cancellations. We played Gunnersville with 5 starters out, and it was a 1-1 with 20 minutes to go. And this young man was one of the reasons why it was that way. So I now want to present the Most Improved Player Award to Marcos Miguel. You've come a long way since soccer tennis last year. I didn't say, you can go back. You're good. Our next award is for best teammate. This young man probably has the best feet on the team. He also, if we could have gotten down to some type of video game competition to win a game, no one would have had a chance. He is a great guy, one of the first kids I got to know when I got to Scottsboro because we were both new together. He transferred from North Jackson last year. The best teammate is Elias Pedro. Good job, Chief. And finally, our last player award, as voted by the players, is the most valuable player. I can tell you that this probably had the most votes of any award that we had, and I don't think it's much surprise in this room when you score more goals than the team did the year before. That's kind of a big deal. We scored 33 goals last year. This young man scored 36. He also led us in yellow cards. And occasionally had to be pulled out so they didn't get a different color. But you couldn't have a more wonderful person as a coach to work with. He's so competitive. That's what gets him in trouble a little bit with the cards. But it's my honor to say the most valuable player this year is Timo van der Linden. He also got a state championship ring this weekend in track, so he's had a pretty good spring semester. Good job, buddy. He's terrible at cup palm, though. All right, and now the coaches' selections for the varsity boys. First is the best competitor. This young man is an absolute joy to coach. Will play wherever you want him to, even though he's mostly played up front. And I've watched a lot of people quit playing against him because he just keeps going and going. He's done everything I could ever ask. And the best competitor for our team is Adam Hood. Great job. Thank you, man. Oh. The next award is the Practice Award. And you can put this together pretty easily. This young man, he was at the soccer fields every time I went this past summer. Actually, about 4 or 5 of them were. But Miguel was always there. I've been to the soccer fields 3 times this week. He was there 2 of them. He works really hard and made a huge difference for us this year. And frankly, as coaches, we looked around at the beginning of the season, and there was about 3 guys that we thought, where'd they come from? But of those 3, the one that stood out the most was Miguel Tomas. Or more famously known as Miggy. Good job, proud of you. And the final of our RC Boys Coach Awards, man, this was the hardest thing. We've said that all night tonight, but the coach's whistle, who's an extension of me on the field. I'm going to tell you, Tony won this last year, and he could have just as easily won it again this year. I could have given it to Adam, who just won Best Competitor. There's so many people that are an extension of me on the field and do the right things. But the one thing that finally made me decide to make this decision is I literally do not remember a time in 2 years that I told this young man something and had to say it a second time. That's just never happened. He's absolutely been a joy to coach. He always seems to be in the right place. He doesn't talk a lot, but when he talks, he gets people in the right spot. And so the coach's whistle goes to Wyatt Hancock. Well done, buddy. And finally, our last award is the Cole Kirkland Award. Those that know Cole from last year's team, this award was created because I felt that Cole represented everything I wanted this program to be. You play your tail off every day as hard as you can. You cheer for your teammates, and you never give up. And you do everything you can to contribute every day the most you can, and that's what Cole did all year for us last year. So I've thought about this all year as we were doing this, and there's one person above everyone else in this room that, frankly, I don't know how we're going to function without. He has more stuff, more involvement in the program than anyone. At one point this year, he had more keys to more buildings than I did. And I love this young man so much. And I don't know what I would be as a coach without him. I really don't. I would do anything I could to help him go to college and play soccer if they were smart enough to know that he was capable of doing that, and I'm not done trying that. But to coach Kalen Gonzalez, this is the Cole Kirkland Award. Thank you for everything. It was good. So finally, just to wrap up our comments, for those that don't know, this is our first trophy in program history, second overall boys in the black division of the Lincoln tournament. It sits in our trophy case, which is a milk crate on the cabinet in my room, classroom. I just want to say that I have the best job in this city right now. We've worked really hard for 2 years to get to the point that we have a family. That's why I get emotional. It's not about playoffs. It's not about how many games we've won. It's that I have young men and women that sometimes feel like my sons and daughters and sometimes like younger siblings. And it's a real honor to coach you. It's been beyond my dreams this year. Really, when I started this, some of you said, it's just been my dream to put on a jersey for Scottsboro High School. And some of you even said that in your 8th grade letters you got a few weeks ago. It's been my joy that your dreams have become mine. Getting to watch you accomplish that has been something I didn't know was a dream for me. I was telling some parents tonight, I didn't know that coaching the way that I coach, I didn't know if it could work. I didn't know what kind of results we might have. But I knew that if we did this, I wanted us to kind of have that cross-country feel of being a family. And I wanted you to be able to be grown up and make decisions and to be able to work 20 to 30 hours a week if you need to and be able to play another sport if you need to. And I don't want this to be your life. I don't want soccer to be your life because that would be a horrible job of me as a coach. I want it to be a part of it. And what I say to you and I say over and over again is 20 years from now is when I'll know what kind of season we had. Because you'll always be the first team to ever make the playoffs. You'll always be the ones that put us on the map. But what matters is that 20 years from now, people go, look what those kids became, look what those coaches became, and look what we did together. Because that's what matters. One day down the road, when you're married, when you're having a bad day at work, something that happened makes you go, you know, I'm going to get through this because I know something that happened at soccer. I can tell you that when you're 40 years old or 42 like I am, you know, I want that to be the difference maker. And hopefully wherever you are, you get to have the joy I've had this year of seeing your dreams come true. Because I'll tell you, when that ice bath hit me to make the playoffs, I always wanted an ice bath like that. It was really fun. But you seniors, these white jerseys and the ones you didn't turn in time, they're yours. Okay, you get to take those with you. These pictures back here are yours. Huh? Yes, yeah. Coach Reichel's requested you come up so you can get a picture. Is that what I heard? Oh. Yeah, oh, I know that. They said there was one there. Okay. I got you. All right, so I think I'm supposed to tell all the seniors to come up here. So seniors, come on. Well, we're going to give you a picture, but people can keep signing them. We'll just go ahead and do what we need to do first. Exchange students. Okay, we need exchange students. We also need Pedros. For those that don't know, the reason Pedro's coming up, Pedro's turns 19 next year before he can play. So we've basically treated him like a senior. He's going to be on the sideline as manager/coach next year. But this will be the last year he can play, so we're just going ahead and include him with the seniors and the exchange students. I just didn't want y'all to think he's transferring or something. We ain't lost him.
Here's the remember forever whenever you guys win state.
Awesome.
You may hold your stuff.
You want to tell it or you want me to tell it? You want to talk? You bring it up there. Adam's going to talk. Is it on? Okay, on behalf of the whole team, but especially the seniors, we have something to give Coach Laney. We'll let Itzel go first.
This is kind of on behalf of the girls because we love you like you're our dad. And you're basically a lot of people in one. You're a bus driver, a coach, and also like a dad. And I mean, without you helping us practice, we wouldn't have made it where we made it. So it's not just us. So here you go.
Alrighty. Well, we don't have anything special. Yeah, I know. We don't have anything special like the girls did for Coach, but the whole team and on behalf of the seniors, we all signed this photo or 4 photos of both teams making the playoffs for Coach to be able to remember us by when we're all getting old and having kids of our own. And just one thing for him to look over and shed a tear, because who wouldn't want to coach this wonderful team? Love you, Coach. Love you, Coach.
Right now?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, or you just put it in.
What is that?
Money. We have gifts sort of for all the coaches from the boosters and players and parents, just to recognize what you guys have done for us and just all the achievements because of you guys. Coach Haley, Josh. He gets it. Coach Allen. Coach Reichel. Is Doug here or? Oh. You're welcome. And Coach Laney.
All right. Well, I think some people said something about pictures, but I think that's a wrap on an amazing year. All you that are coming back, it's time to get to work. I'll give you a couple more weeks, and then we're going to be on it here in June. We got a lot of work ahead of us. We lose like 98% of our goals. Brother Matt, we're going to be great. Okay? All right. Love you, proud of you. Thank you, parents. Also, last thing I want to say is my wife did all the certificates tonight. She hates being embarrassed, so I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I just want to say thank you for all that you did for this, and I'm sorry in advance.